Hi, I'm Gidon from thetechnologyman.com. I've looked at using a GoPro as a webcam in a couple of recent videos, but if you have an Insta360 One R or One X2, they can also be used as pretty handy webcams, with a couple of additional features GoPros don't have. I'll discuss how to set up the webcam mode, which works on a PC or Mac, and I'll compare the quality to the GoPro Hero 9, the popular Logitech C920, a MacBook Pro, and a Panasonic mirrorless camera with a USB capture card. So let's take a look. Not all Insta360 cameras support the webcam mode. Currently, you'll need an Insta360 One X2 or One R. The older One X and the new Go 2 don't have a webcam mode, and the One R only supports webcam mode with the 4K and 360 degree mod. The Leica 1-inch mod is not currently supported, most likely because its minimum focusing distance would make it unusable in most situations. Both cameras deliver Full HD 1920 by 1080 pixel resolution when used as a webcam. All you need is a supplied USB charging cable, but don't connect it just yet. Make sure you download the latest firmware if you want to use webcam mode. Connect wirelessly via the Insta360 app and you should be prompted if there's an update. On the One R with a 4K mod, turn the camera on and swipe down and then left twice and tap on the settings cog. Then General, USB mode, Webcam. Go back to the previous screen and tap on Webcam Zoom. This is off by default in the latest firmware, but this is where you can turn it on. I'll show what it does shortly, but in most cases I'd leave this off. With a 360 degree mod, swipe down, then across to the left, and again tap on the settings cog, General, USB mode, Webcam. On the One X2, turn the camera on and swipe down from the top of the screen, then across to the left and tap on the settings cog. Tap on General, USB mode, Webcam. On the One X2, there's no option to disable the webcam zoom currently. Now connect your PC or Mac to your camera with a supplied USB-C to USB-A cable and then turn the camera on. The camera turns on and then restarts in webcam mode. The LED on the front of both the One X2 and One R turn green. You don't need a battery installed to use the webcam feature. Unlike with GoPro's webcam mode, there's no software you need to install to use your camera as a webcam. It's a standard UVC webcam just like the Logitech C920 or most other dedicated USB webcams. Open any software that can use a webcam and select either the Insta360 One R or Insta360 One X2. On a PC, you can open the built-in camera app to check it's working. If you have another webcam installed, click on the camera icon towards the top right of the screen to switch between your connected webcams. On a Mac, you can use the built-in photo booth app. Choose the Insta360 webcam from the camera menu. In Zoom, click on the settings cog near the top right of the display, then the video tab and select your Insta360. Choose the webcam's built-in mic in the audio tab. I find the test mic feature sometimes doesn't work, so make a test call to check everything is working okay via zoom.us/test. This will guide you through all your settings. In Skype, choose the Insta360 camera in Settings, Audio and Video, and in OBS, click on the plus icon in Sources, then Video Capture Devices. Give it a name or accept the default, then select the Insta360 camera and click OK. You can't control exposure, so you'll need decent lighting for the best results. Try to ensure there's no bright window right behind you. If you're using the One X2 or the 360 degree mod on the One R, you don't get a stitched 360 degree view. Instead, you'll see a split display from the front and rear lens, which isn't particularly useful in most cases. Insta360 show it being used for meetings, with a camera in the middle of the table and participants either side of it. But I've not seen many people use webcams like that. And if you do find a use for it, both views are significantly cropped top and bottom. Fortunately, the One X2 has an undocumented feature where you can press the shutter button to switch from this split view to the front lens, then again for the rear lens, and both views are full uncropped views. Press the shutter button once more to return to the split view. In either single lens view, the webcam automatically zooms in when it sees a face. This can't be disabled, as I alluded to earlier. In certain situations, it might be useful since the default field of view is quite wide, but I don't like not having any control over this, and there's a significant reduction in quality too. I would prefer this to be disabled by default in a future firmware release, like they've just done with the One R with a 4K mod. The 360 degree mod with the One R only has a split view. There's currently no way of switching to the front or rear lens like on the One X2. But you'd normally have the 4K mod anyway, so it's probably not a big deal. The 4K mod probably has the most usable webcam mode, and you can use the webcam zoom if you find the wide angle view too much and would rather let the camera attempt to automatically zoom in on your face. I'd prefer to see a manual choice of field of view like you get on a GoPro. Most of the time I don't need such a wide angle view. You don't generally want everyone seeing all the clutter around you. The GoPro's narrow lens mode would be ideal, which is still similar to my Panasonic mirrorless camera with a 30mm, 35mm equivalent lens attached. Disappointingly, although you can cleverly have the LCD screen facing you, this is deactivated in webcam mode, so unlike on a GoPro Hero 9, you won't see yourself, which can be useful if you want to hide your self view to save screen space, but still check you're in frame. And although you can connect AirPods as your microphone on these cameras, that's not supported in webcam mode. You can use any tripod to mount the cameras using the built-in 1/4 inch mount on the One X2 or the included 1/4 inch adapter with the One R. If you have one of Insta360's invisible selfie sticks together with any tripod, this makes a useful way of mounting the camera behind the laptop screen or monitor at the correct height, although you would need a ball head or similar to tilt the camera to point down slightly. You can see for yourself how the video quality compares between the Insta360 cameras, a Logitech C920 dedicated webcam, a GoPro Hero 9, a MacBook Pro that's past its prime, and a Panasonic G80 mirrorless camera with an Elgato HD60 S Plus USB capture card. You can also hear how their microphones compare, apart from the Hero 9, which doesn't yet support audio in its webcam mode. For the GoPro, I've used a separate microphone, a USB Samson Go Mic. The video is significantly delayed compared to the audio, so I've used OBS to delay the audio to compensate for this. This is footage from an Insta360 One R with the 4K lens mod. I've turned the webcam zoom off and it's using audio from the camera itself. This is the Insta360 One R with the 4K lens mod, and this time I've got the webcam zoom option turned on. It's already zoomed into my face, and if I move around it should try and track me. This is footage from the Insta360 One X2. It starts off in the default split view. If you press the shutter button, you go to the more useful front-facing camera, and as you move around, they'll track you. Although you do lose a lot of quality, and you can't turn this webcam zoom feature off. If I click it again, you go to the rear view camera, and then back again to the split view. This is footage from a Logitech C920 web camera with built-in audio. This is footage from a GoPro Hero 9, which doesn't include audio, so I'm capturing audio using this Samson Go Mic. I've had to delay the audio from this microphone by 400 milliseconds so I don't get too much lip sync delay. If I change this wide angle view to linear mode, this is how it looks. Just give it a second. Okay, so this is in linear mode. If I then change it to narrow mode, give it a second again, and here we are in narrow mode. So this is narrow mode on the GoPro Hero 9. This is footage from the built-in FaceTime camera on a MacBook Pro, also using the built-in audio. This is footage from a Panasonic G80 mirrorless camera using the built-in microphone and attached to an Elgato HD60 S Plus capture card. I'm really pleased to see Insta360 implementing a webcam mode in their action cameras. In some ways, it puts GoPro's webcam mode to shame. There's no software to download and you get integrated audio, which is pretty important in most cases, and something GoPro still hasn't figured out how to do. As it stands, the One R with the 4K lens mod makes the best webcam in Insta360's lineup, especially if you're after a wide angle field of view. I'd personally leave the webcam zoom option disabled. Colours are a little off, and I even had some issues on my setup with the colours becoming temporarily corrupt, perhaps due to overheating. And the audio is a little quiet with a slightly distracting hum, but overall it's still very usable as a webcam. The One X2's webcam mode isn't as good quality as the One R with a 4K mod, but it's a handy feature and at least you can enable a single lens. But I'd really want to see the automatic zoom disabled. It's distracting and there's not really enough resolution on a single lens for this feature anyway. I had a few issues with the audio cutting out briefly too. The One R with a 360-degree mod makes the least useful webcam unless you specifically need a webcam in the middle of a meeting room table. I am surprised Insta360 haven't yet implemented the webcam feature with the One R 1-inch lens mod. A bigger sensor for typically badly lit video calls could be a unique selling point, but its 70cm plus minimum focusing distance might be a limiting factor. I wouldn't buy an Insta360 camera, or a GoPro for that matter, just to use as a webcam, but it's a nice feature to have and it definitely has its uses. I slightly prefer Insta360's webcam mode over GoPro's, at least until GoPro works out how to get audio working. The quality of the footage is similar. The GoPro is a little more contrasty, but the One R with a 4K mod looks a little more natural. The Logitech C920 has better audio and in most cases a more sensible field of view. And it usually achieves a better exposure in more tricky lighting situations. It has autofocus too. The MacBook Pro's footage looks soft and is only 720p. The exposure is good and the microphone does a good job too. Unsurprisingly, the Panasonic Mirrorless camera with the USB capture card does the best job and is also capable of capturing 4K footage. But I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. Which action cam would you choose for its webcam mode? Insta360 or GoPro? Let me know down below. And as always, if you have any questions, please ask. I read every comment and will do my best to respond. I do hope you found this video useful. Please like the video if you did. I'm releasing videos every week on the latest technology and how to get the most out of it. So please make sure you subscribe. It helps more than you think. And don't forget to tap the bell icon if you want to get notified as soon as a new video gets uploaded. Thanks for watching.